The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico and Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to our more balanced, natural, wild world.
To recover our natural health, our rights, and our freedoms. Good morning. I'm Paige Clarke.
And it's a beautiful morning, kind of cool, 56 degrees in downtown Clearwater with clear skies, and we're going to have a cold spell for about a week.
We like it. Hey,
Yeah,
make sure you
nice.
subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. News you can use in your inbox twice a month. $10 a month gets it to you.
That's right, and please pick up our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder, over 310 organic, cell-ready, liquid ingredients.
That's right. Get the good stuff in.
And let the good stuff out, and that's with the fulvic and humic acids that we often talk about.
That's right. And we're taking your phone calls if you're up bright and early, 877-927-6648. Nico.
Yes, so
What you
this
got
time
for
of
us?
year, people talking about diets, talking about changing the regime, taking the lifestyle
Fresh start.
control of it, fresh start kind of thing after the first of the year. Some people start right now,
But
which
the
is a good
question
time.
is, what's the right diet? And I think it's really great that you and I often take the approach, it's up to you, really. Everyone has the right to change their mind, to try different things, but really where you're at today is in your diet is a journey that you took based on seeing what worked right for you.
Yeah, and seeing what other species do also. I think that's really important.
Observing. Being the observer.
Observing instead of, we know we're not the type of animal that eats constantly, although some people seem to.
Right.
The ruminants, the cows and the sheep and horses and things like that,
True.
their face is always down there, and they're always eating. We're more like the predators, like a lion or a tiger or a dog, perhaps, or even a pig, that when they're hungry, a pig is even more so because they seem to always be eating. But if you take a
That's interesting,
dog,
though. They say that there's a lot of anatomical similarity between a pig and humans.
well, I think the digestive system, because we can eat the same things. Yeah.
But they're eating all the time.
They're eating all the time, yeah, and that's why I guess we can if we want to. But I look at more like a dog or maybe a lion.
But if you want to look like a pig, then you eat all the time.
That's a
And
good
if you
point
want-
there, yeah.
And if you want to
Look like a lion,
Good
then
morning,
let your
Matt.
hair grow. But my point is that a lion kind of lays around all the time, and then when it's hungry, it goes out and gets something, and then eats it, and then lies around again. Yeah.
Well, that's because he eats that big influx. And he just gets so exhausted.
Yeah.
He's got to focus on taking a cat nap, so
Right.
break it all down.
But they don't seem to exercise too much except in play or in sex, that type of thing. And I remember reading somewhere where when the white man showed up at the Shoshone village, they said, boy, these people are just lazy. They're all laying around, not doing much. The only thing they do is gather some food and then eat it and, maybe go hunting, and then they lay around.
Right.
And that reminds me of the lion or the tiger or even the snake, perhaps.
And those people eat what kind of diet?
Well, they were eating mostly animals.
Right, because it was a big digestive issue. But anyways,
Yeah, let's
whatever
look
your
at all
diet
these.
is, let's talk about diets. Because you know what? An individual's diet is the sum of food and drink that he or she habitually consumes. And it's the practice of attempting to achieve or maintain a certain weight through diet is what we mostly think of it. But really, diet is information. Food is information. We're going to be talking more on another show about a lot of the research that Sayer G from Green Med Info is talking about the power of the information in the food. We always talk about DNA, but we're going to go to RNA. But
Yeah.
let's define what are diets. Let's start this year, give you some full definitions of what some
Well, the thing I
people
wanted to
concern.
mention here is that people's dietary choices are often affected by a variety of factors, including ethical, religious beliefs, clinical need, or a desire to control weight.
Or,
Not what's on the mind of the tiger or the lion.
You're right. Yeah, because we're thinkers.
And I don't think our ancient ancestors thought about the religious aspect. Somewhere along the line got involved, certainly, and some of the ethical kind of things. In other words, your clan probably was involved in it, but that was based, I think, more on the area where you were.
Right. And it says here, not all diets are considered healthy. Some people follow unhealthy diets based on their habits. But either way, one particular diet may be healthy for you and not healthy for me. So let's define what some of your options are.
That's what the current thinking is.
Right.
Yeah. I don't particularly agree with that, but I think it has some value in there. But I wanted to just go through what, some of these sites that I visited. This is Wikipedia. And this will list them in categories. For first category being the vegetarian diets. They have quite a few different types. They have the fruitation diet, which is...
Fruitarian.
Fruitarian, which is
just
eating
primarily
fruit. Yeah.
eating raw fruits.
Yeah, lactose.
Very high in enzymes.
Yeah.
Most fruitarians have a kind of a glow to them because they get a lot of enzymes to do work.
Of course, they're not eating fruit that is in season all the time, I would think, because a lot of fruit isn't there most of the year.
It doesn't seem like it would be a natural diet because there's times of year that there's no fruit. So how could that be a natural way to eat?
Unless you're following the seasons with everybody.
Or you live in a tropical society,
Yeah,
culture.
well, in the modern world, you can do it because the stuff is shipped all over the place. You'll
Okay,
find
so a
fruit somewhere.
lacto-vegetarian. What
Yeah.
is a lacto-vegetarian? Well, lactose sugar obviously means it has
Dairy.
some dairy in it. A vegetarian diet that includes certain types of dairy, such as
Probably milk, maybe cheese.
Yeah,
that type of
maybe
thing.
milk and
but
cheese,
excludes eggs.
but it excludes eggs and animal rennet.
And this is a religious type of diet, Hinduism, and all these different Indian.
Yeah, based
mostly
on
from India.
ahimsa,
Yeah.
the science or the theory or the belief in ahimsa, which means do no harm.
And then the ova vegetarian, which is a diet that includes eggs but excludes dairy. And then you have the opposite, which
Ovo-lacto-vegetarian is a vegetarian diet that includes eggs and dairy.
Right. And then you have the vegan diet, which really removes all animal products. And some people even go a lot further.
They even don't include honey
Yeah.
because it's an animal product.
Right. Yeah. And also, a lot of them don't wear clothing.
Yeah, they take that belief usually into not using any products in everyday life, whether it be clothing or something like that.
So it's a conscientious type of thing if you think it really means something.
So then we can kind of move into a semi-vegetarian diet. And what does that incorporate? A semi-vegetarian diet is predominantly a vegetarian diet, but might have some meat occasionally.
Yeah. And there's a lot of these
Kangatarian is a diet originating from Australia. In addition to foods permissible in a vegetarian diet, kangaroo meat is also consumed.
Yeah, because they're probably if you look at the vegetation in Australia,
Right.
you've got a lot around the edges, but in the center there's not a lot, so you have to eat something else.
Right.
And the kangaroos are all over the
Yeah,
place,
'cause
so
of
that
the-
makes sense.
Yeah, pescatarian
And that
includes
includes fish, but not other meats. And then the plant-based was used to describe a diet that all the portions come only from plants.
Are you a polotarian? Maybe you're a person who eats chicken and poultry, but not other meats from mammals.
Oh, I thought it was
And then a
playing polo. while
And then a
eating.
polo-pescatarian, we basically a white meat eater.
So
Chicken
let's
and fish.
continue this journey because I really want to see what's out there. So
Yeah.
we'll stick around, folks. And,
Be right back after the break.
That's right. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back to the show. So let's go on to different kinds of diets, and we're talking now about weight control diets. And this is really what I first heard about in diets, I think.
I think that most people associate diet
with weight loss.
Yeah, instead. But, you know, it's not always the case. There's some people that really need to go have a certain diet so that they can maintain their weight. But here's some, let's go into some categories here because these could fall into what we call the low-calorie diet.
Okay.
And this might fall into an area where we are restricting calories. Number one, intermittent fasting. We talk a lot about that. That's cycling between non-fasting and fasting as a method of reducing overall calorie consumption.
Yeah. There's one called Body of Life, a calorie-controlled diet promoted as part of a 12-week Body for Life program.
Yeah, that sounds like somebody's marketing plan.
Yeah.
A cookie diet.
Oh.
A calorie-controlled diet in which low-fat cookies are eaten to quell hunger, often in place of a meal. Oh, that sounds
What's
boring
a low-fat?
to me.
Well, low-fat cookie would be the cookie with made out of normal things, probably low-fat. Probably sugar substitutes.
Well,
both bad things.
Probably
in my
all
book.
yucky stuff. Yeah, the hacker's diet. We're telling you this because these are things that you may be seeing because this is the time of the year where all these diets float out there to try and get your attention. The hacker's diet is a calorie-controlled diet from the Hacker's Diet by John Walker. And the book suggests that the key to reaching and maintaining the desired weight is understanding, carefully monitoring calories consumed and used. So it's really a calorie counting diet. Nutrisystem is a food selling company.
Calorie counting really was a big thing for many, many years, pretty much disproven with the advent of looking at leptin and insulin and how the body works.
A calorie is not a calorie, I don't think.
Well, it is a calorie, but it's used differently in the body than we think it does.
Correct. I think that the utility of it is used. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so Nutrisystems and Weight Watchers, these can be great systems for people, I think, primarily because of the camaraderie of the group type of thing, the not having to think about your food. But I do think these systems produce, they're usually funneled by processed food, and that's so much against what we think is ideal.
Yeah. Next is very low-calorie diets. These are even more restrictive, and the Keto diet, that's a diet that individual feeds through a feeding tube, so that's really drastic. The other one, the breatharian, is just a belief.
It's a diet in which no food is consumed based on the belief that food is not necessary for human subsistence. We could go on this because I'm going to say that that's probably the truth. And you know why?
Right.
Because we're eating food for the information, the RNA, DNA type information, for the epigenetic information. We're eating the food for the light.
Well, I would
and if
say...
we gaze at the sun...
Perhaps. I think that involves somebody more evolved than I am. That's just my own opinion.
Well, well, I didn't mean that about you, but I mean, in general, I think you have to work on your consciousness to work on the sun gazing or breatharian to get your energy from the ether, which is the breatharian, or the light from the sun. But yeah, so now let's go to the low carb.
Low carb diets, yes. Atkins diet, that was probably the first one anybody's ever heard of, and pretty much in the I think 1970s, late 70s, early 80s it began, and this is pretty much saying, okay, the meat is good for you, you can eat anything you want. As far as meat's concerned, just cut out the carbs, you're going to lose weight.
And I think that really came about at a good time, because in the 20 years before this diet, the Dr. Atkins diet, there were no GMOs then, but there had been a steady increase in carbohydrates from the 30s. Right. And so they said, hey, wait a minute, we need to go back to eating maybe more like we did in the 20s and 30s before we saw this onslaught.
Even probably before, we say 30s and 40s, but if we look at Weston A. Price, he already knew there was a problem. Because
that was what he saw. He saw it in the dentition. He saw the tooth decay.
That's right. So when we started eating cereals and those things started coming in, the
excessive
tooth
carbohydrates,
decay.
yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So.
The Dukin diet. Maybe you haven't heard of the Dukin diet.
I haven't heard of that one.
It's a multi-step diet based on high protein and limited carbohydrate consumption. It starts with 2 steps intended to facilitate short-term weight loss, followed by 2 steps intended to consolidate these losses and return to a more long-term diet. The South Beach diet is really was based on the Miami-based cardiologist who says that the key to losing weight quickly and getting healthy isn't cutting all carbohydrates and fats from your diets. It's learning to choose the right carbs and the right fats. That sounds a lot like how we recommend, you know?
Kind of. At least that's how I started.
The South Beach diet really introduced me to the macadamia nut oil.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a big fan of that. And when you look at the nutritional profile of the macadamia nut, it really is, I believe, superior to even olive oil. And yet we know olive oil has had some, really good health benefits.
Yeah, well, we got avocado oil. That's great, too. Okay, we go next to the low-fat diets, and this is... This
is McDougall diet, which is, talked a little bit last year. Dr. Marshall from Premier Research, bless his heart, had really fallen into the McDougall camp. Okay. In fact, McDougall came and spoke at the Premier Research Labs, our big meeting that I did not attend this year.
Well, it's a high-calorie, high-fiber, low-fat diet based on starches, potatoes, and rice.
Yeah, this would be completely the opposite of what you would believe, yet there are lots of people. Dr. McDougall has had tremendous health turnarounds for certain people, but then my question is, what were these people eating before? Probably McDonald's and Arby's.
And you always have to go back to that. But again, this is food that, except for rice, are New World foods.
He
says Europeans were never subjected until the 1800s to potatoes or beans at all, ever.
Or rice.
No, rice really. Remember, Marco Polo went to the east, brought back many spices and things, but one of the things...
And the black forbidden rice, right?
Yeah.
Well, but really, around the world, there have been societies that have thrived on starches, but as you always said, they thrived instead of starved. Did they really thrive, or did they just survive?
Well, if you look at the famines and things like that, and when
I'd say they maybe survived is thriving.
Yeah, and listen, if you're going to survive on a food, and food that maybe your mother or your grandmother ate, you're going to probably eat that thing, because this is part of the culture. This saved our lives. We need it, and we're going to keep it around in case. And that's, I think, how it starts. Think about the white rice, and think about all these things that we use as what I call food extenders. We need those things around, because if the other stuff's not around, we need to extend the food, and if nothing else is around, we need to eat just that, just to subsist, because we're not going to do what that other guy says and think that we're going to live off the sun and the air, because that hasn't happened yet.
Oh yeah, it has.
Well, not to me.
Well, I know, but there have been people that
Well,
have. But
they say,
right.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you stop and you think about it, Nico, before we go into this last section. When you become a person who can handle the intermittent fasting or eat more fats for satiety, and you're able to not have to be munchy, you eat less, you spend less money, so it makes me feel like you'd be better prepared for a food shortage. A lot of things that Dave Dubine has explained to us, that the grand solar minimum is going to produce food shortages. You know, we're talking about, you know, huge crop losses in these grain foods.
Yeah.
Which, if these grain foods aren't around, what's that going to do to the animal foods?
Exactly.
So it really gets crazy. When we come back, we'll kind of go over what are some of the crash diets that you might hear about.
Doesn't sound like a good thing to do.
Yeah, you know, crash sounds like crash and burn.
You need your seatbelt for that one, I
Right.
think. Yeah.
Or perhaps these could be viewed as cleansings, short-term duration.
I like that better.
Yeah, we'll give you
okay.
some tips here
Stick
when
around.
we get back.
Pick up some Primal Edge while you're at it, folks. It's time to do it.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
So we're coming up on a new year. It could be a new you. What about a new diet for you? So here are a few diets that are considered perhaps crash or short-term diets.
Yeah, which is right away tells me this is not a healthy thing to do. I do believe in going all out. Naturally, when I switched my diet, I kind of just switched and I crashed into that diet, but I didn't go back out of it again. So, but I think these short-term diets can be good, but I like what you said before the break. these are the type of things where you can shake up your body a little bit by doing a
Sure.
fasting or doing...
No harm in doing them as sort of a cleanse or a purging time. You know, like the Beverly Hills diet, which is basically a fruitarian diet. The cabbage soup diet.
That
The
would
cabbage
be a
soup
good
diet is a great diet
Yep.
in terms of
cleansing.
right, and because cabbage is the doctrine of similars, it's the stomach lining, so
Yeah.
it's very gut healing.
And same with grapefruit type of diet, even though it's a fruit and a citrus.
Enzymatically rich.
It probably is not a citrus that might spike everybody's insulin. Some people perhaps, but not on a level that orange juice would do.
This one I just think is kind of ridiculous. I don't even know the
Israeli.
Subway diet. I thought, oh, they do something.
Well, they have the Israeli army diet that you
Oh,
mentioned.
okay, yeah.
That's,
Yeah,
I guess,
so-
just for Israelis. But the Subway diet, that's not going down into taking the tube somewhere. That's where you go to the Subway and get a Subway sandwich, right?
Yeah, I just don't understand that at all. But there are people that have had success, but many times, usually
Where
that
are they
person,
coming from?
yeah, maybe eating a fried,
Well, if you're
Chick-fil-A or
obese, if you're 40% of your fat overweight, let's say, that you've had such a bad diet, if you restrict anything, you're going to lose weight, I would think.
So
Pretty much.
here are a couple of the what they consider detox diets. You've heard us talk about here juice fasting and the Master Cleanse. The Master Cleanse, I personally do think, is a really cool little cleanse. It was developed by Stanley Burroughs, who actually believed in a lot of etheric healing and the power of light. And I had a great experience on the Master Cleanse, and I did it for 17 days. And that's the lemonade, cayenne pepper, maple syrup. And believe it or not, it sounds crazy, but you're getting all your necessary enzymes and vitamins and minerals
Right.
in that little concoction. And after a few days, you are not hungry at all. And I think that can be a great, just kind of give the digestive system a break.
Yeah, and juice fasting, that's using vegetable juices and things like that. I think if you did this for a couple of weeks during the time when those particular vegetables or fruits were
Yeah, use it as a seasonal approach.
as a seasonal,
right.
then you're using it as a cleanse
For
and a
example,
detox. Yeah,
you know,
so,
now that we're getting cold snaps in Florida, citrus is in season.
yeah,
It's the cold that makes the orange sweet.
that's right.
Right, or the lemon ripe.
So then we go into belief-based diets, and these
yeah,
could
we
be...
hit on a few of those.
Yeah,
you
this
know.
is really based on religion, and you have a lot of different ones. I don't think we need to go into each one of these, but, a lot of people are going to, if they're very religious and they're using a particular religion to get themselves connected to their friends and family, great. I think that's a good idea. I would say, some of those diets probably are very healthy. Some of them really are based on lots of breads and things like that,
This
too.
is
because-
interesting. This is something called the Word of Wisdom, the name of a section of the Doctrine and Covenants, a book of scripture accepted by members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And here's the dietary advice, which includes, number one, wholesome plants in the season thereof.
Yes.
So I think that's interesting, stating that they should be seasonal, eating meat sparingly and only in times of winter or of cold or famine. So again, more of a hunter. Obviously, if there's snow on the ground, you're not going to be picking dandelion,
Yeah.
right?
And the last part is
And
grain.
grain is the staff of life. Interesting.
Yeah. And again, the staff of life is something that saved humanity somewhere along the line, and then we need to reproduce this stuff.
And the question is, do grains actually help us survive, not thrive?
Yeah, and they help us survive for sure, definitely not thrive. And the grains of today are not the grains of yesterday either, so there's a big change there. And remember that our ancestors really did a lot of things to grains to make them a staple. When you ferment them and let them sprout and change the toxins that are in there and cook them, then you're changing it, and you can use these. It's not as healthy as eating meat, I would say, but it's going to keep you alive, and that's good.
Yeah, so when the saying came about that grains were the staff of life, was that mass media manipulation?
Through religion, sure.
Sure. The idea that...
But think of the purpose behind it.
right.
Here we're going through hard times, not enough animals around. We're living in the desert anyway. So now we need something that'll get us through, and this is something definitely that did.
Yeah.
So yeah, staff of life for sure. Then we have diets that are followed for medical reasons, and you have diabetic diet, the
How's
DASH
that working
diet.
for most people?
Well, there's a lot of people on these because we have a lot of medical problems. So
And yeah, so
and some of these medical things. Remember that D'Agostino. I'm sorry for interrupting, but remember D'Agostino and all these doctors at all these different universities using ketones and using diet to get rid of disease through diet
Sure, we've
only.
seen
So-
a great work with epilepsy and stuff like that. With the ketogenic diet. So yes, there are certain types. The elimination diet for helping to heal gut issues, the gluten-free, when we see high inflammation and so forth. We could go on and on.
Oh, we have a list of other diets, the alkaline diets, the blood type diet, the eat clean diet, fit for life, food combining, Gershon,
Healthy kidney.
the Graham diet, high protein diet, high residue diet. And what I really wanted to do next is go into some of the popular things that people say and what science may be saying about diets. So I think when we come back from the break, we'll go into that. But I was listening to a podcast last night from Sean Baker. Sean Baker.
Who's Sean Baker?
Sean Baker is a surgeon, and he's a high-powered athlete into bodybuilding and things
So there's a
like
high
that.
performance.
High performance. And years ago, way before everybody else, he started just doing what he calls a carnivorous diet. So in other words, the picture that I painted about the lion just kind of laying around and then going to grab some food and then laying around again, that's basically what he does.
The way he lives.
That's kind of the way he lives. So he's mostly meat, 90%. He says if he's hungry after consuming his staple, which is always meat, then he'll eat a piece of cheese or maybe a little broccoli or something that he has around. But the main staple is very similar to how I look at it, that most of the problems that are within me are caused by the plant food and not the other stuff.
And a lot of people still would hear you saying that and would be, in shock. I mean, because the world paints a picture. Look, you look at the picture on the telestrator of the girl and the bright colored vegetables, and that is the message that we get, that these are the health foods. Not, if we had a picture of a butcher's place, we wouldn't get the same kind of view. You might just scroll down. He's saying, so what is healthy?
Well, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone, and I want to get him on right after the break. So, but my main thing is that the picture that's being painted out in the media is completely different than what I do and what Baker was talking about.
Well, that covers a lot of areas. That's right.
Well, that's true, but I'm talking about food here mainly, and most of the problems seem to come from vegetables and fruits that are eaten out of sync with our
and hybridized and not recognizable to our bodies. Tom from Tampa, hang on. We've got to go to a break, but we want to talk to you when we get back.
Be right back, folks. And I want to remind people to pick up my Health Signals newsletter. I have a new one coming out next week, but this one is full of stuff that you really need to know, what we've talked about in the past couple of weeks. So please pick that up. $10 a month gets it to you twice on the first and third Tuesday of every month. We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Hey there, Tom from Tampa, are you out there?
Hey, Paige, Nico, how you guys doing?
Hi, Tom.
Good morning.
What's up?
Good. Hey, I thought that was interesting in the newsletter back. It's been a few months ago. The one individual wrote that, you can almost make the argument that vegetables could be compared to fast food.
Yeah.
And it kind of stuck with me, because I know you've mentioned it a few times, Nico, about the sugar. Now, I eat my vegetables, too. I'm like you, Paige, But I thought that was kind of got my attention on that. I think, you don't have to eat a lot of them, like I've heard you say a few times.
Well, there's a lot of scientists and doctors that I listen to, and some of the things that they are saying goes along with exactly that the problem with the vegetables today, they're not the vegetables of, years and years ago. So they're
not the wild foods.
They're not the wild
Which
foods
is where
anymore.
the primal edge comes in.
Well, that's certainly true. You need to
Which
supplement.
is the greatest invention of humankind. I mean, I love that stuff, of course. I've been on it for quite some time,
Yeah.
Oh, we appreciate that, Tom. We like hearing from people that are feeling great. It's, I can't tell you, you're one of those people that lets me know all the time that you love it. And the other thing is I've had a couple people say, thank you, I think we got pregnant because of the Primal Edge.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
When the body gets the nutrition it needs, down to those micronutrients, that's what we're trying to get with the Primal Edge. We're trying to get the micronutrients in. But when you come back to saying, I liked what you just said, that, perhaps some of the plant foods could be seen as fast food. Yeah, they are kind of fast because it takes a lot of energy to catch an animal.
Well,
and that's not fast food, but, when you look at the nutrient density of those key fat-soluble nutrients and vitamins A, D, E, and K,
where are you going to find them?
you're going to find those in animal foods.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you'd mentioned there a few weeks ago, Nico, about your neighbor there. I think they had their son, you could that was an actuary.
Right.
Not switching subjects here, but you see more and more of that. I think a lot of your architects. I think a lot of your traders are actuaries. They're loaners, whatever you want to call them. I mean, and it's just the way it is nowadays. World,
That's for sure.
With all the technology and everything. Covey. I used to read a lot of Stephen Covey stuff, and he said, "Hey, there's nothing wrong with it, man. It's just it's just the way it is sometimes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate your insights. Thanks a lot.
Hey, you guys are doing a great job, man.
Thanks a lot,
Tom,
Tom.
thanks for calling,
Always
as
great to hear
always.
from you. Thank you. So one of the
We got a
things...
comment too. Primal Edge has been fantastic. Totally agree. Well, we
Matt,
are
yeah.
glad you guys are buying the Primal Edge. We tried to come up with something. Nico and I wanted to find something. We call it our one-shot wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, we just, it's like the insurance policy. You know,
Yeah.
you want to kind of have a seat, you
And
know,
Matt
bottom
also
floor.
is asking, he got a copy of Dr. Grundy book, Plant
That was
Paradox.
Marshall. Marshall asked the question.
Yeah, oh, Marshall?
No,
that was
that's Matt was
yeah.
talking about Dr. Grundy's book, Plant Paradox.
Yeah, it really is a eye-opener. I encourage people to read that book for sure. The
That
other one is
explain
called...
the lectins, which are those, or the anti-nutrients in plants, guys.
Yeah. And the other book, Fat for Fuel by Dr. Mercola, that Marshall was talking about. Yeah, great book also. Mercola, of course, is in the same camp that we are as far as realizing that fat is not the enemy and that we need clean food, and the cleanest food in the world is the animals that are eating their own clean food.
Yes.
And that's the problem. So it's not only animals eating bad food, but plants also eating bad food. Plants being grown in conditions that are not optimal anymore. We're sweetening these plants up, and we're using just maybe 7 plants when our ancestors probably ate 100 to maybe 300 different plants out in the wild.
If you're a forager, that's when the plants can be good. And you know what's so amazing is one of the best plant foods for you. We've been trained to spray it with weed killer, and that's the dandelion.
Yeah.
And it's coming up in sidewalks. It's trying to say, hey, I'm important.
Yeah.
And yet we get rid of it. Let's go to this article that says the 9 most popular diets rated. You know, I think this was interesting. Nico and I like this because it was in a mainstream news article called Medical News Today. And what was interesting about it is the top 3 diets are fat-based diets. I thought that was great. Number 1, these were medical professionals rating top diets. Atkins came in as a way of controlling the levels of insulin in the body through a low-carb diet, and that's one of the brilliant things about the Atkins diet, is it really drew attention to the fact that our instability in our insulin levels was the real culprit.
Yes, and he understood this because Dr. Axon was actually studying cancer.
And heart disease.
And heart disease, and started seeing the correlation between insulin, leptin, and how these hormones are controlling what happens to our body.
And the carbohydrate is the
thing that
foods
spikes
diet
all
that
those.
really causes the
Yep.
volatility in the sugar index
Yeah, so the next
for you
one-
stock people.
And the next one is the zone diet, one that I was on in the late 80s. That's what kind of started me down this
I
path.
call that you can't make up your mind diet. It's 30-30-30, right? Or something like that.
40-30-30.
40-30-30.
Yeah, 40 carbohydrates, 30% fats, and 30%. So this was the first time we said, okay, we need some fat. We need 30%
Right.
fat. And everybody goes, ooh, 30% fat, that's a lot.
Oh, that was right on the heels
But
of the heart disease.
If you
fat
realize that
hypothesis
the amount of energy in a fat cell is twice as much as a protein or a carbohydrate,
bang for your buck
You
with
get
the
more
fat.
bang for your buck. So you're eating more in energy, but you're not eating more in volume, and that's the real difference. And I would even go say that the 40% knock that down to 10, and you add the
Swap 'em, maybe.
Swap them. I would say add the 40 to the 30, and then you get about 70% of your calories in fat, and then the rest is about you got enough about 20% protein and 10% carbs. That's my look at it. And the carbs aren't the types of carbs that most people consume, not mine. I don't eat any bread or pasta or anything like that. I will eat some greens now and then.
Number 3, the ketogenic diet. We've been talking about that a lot with you all. Ketogenic diet, as I mentioned earlier, was used for decades as a well-established medical treatment for epilepsy. So any neurodegeneration, what do we see an explosive expansion of as neurodegenerative diseases, whether it be ADHD or depression, anxiety, or Alzheimer's. These are all neurodegenerative. Ketogenic.
And if you
fat
see what's happening in the
restores.
world with the violence and everything like that, these are brain diseases. This is where you go out of whack and you go over the edge in a snap because you're on that edge so much, and anything can set you off.
And we have a lot of people that are looking for a pharmaceutical solution when it's really a food solution.
Yeah, well, that's the brainwashing part of our media constantly telling you what foods to eat and what medicines to take.
And putting those commercials in every minute that they've got there's a pill for that.
Yeah.
And like
showing you all the side effects, and that is kind of dismissed at the end. We got to put this in, but it doesn't mean anything, folks.
So we know that it's the food.
Yeah.
And this is the food and the environment is really what codes.
And the interesting
our
part is what you said. The Atkins diet, the Zone diet, and the ketogenic diet are leaning much more towards paleo. Ketogenic definitely is paleo, even beyond paleo, some people say, because you're looking at it from a different, more of a scientific. That's the only difference that I see. You're looking at it scientifically instead of how our ancestors knew this.
And then really it's the next diets. That's when the vegetarian, the vegan diets come in after those. And then number 6, we get into those what I call the more marketed diets, the Weight Watchers, the South Beach diet we had talked about earlier.
And these are marketing schemes, like you said, because there's a specific plan for these and you buy the plan.
The raw food diets. And then number 9, the Mediterranean diet. I was surprised that it was dropped down to number 9.
Yeah, I would think it'd be up there with the Atkins.
But the whole key is Western diets can shorten your life. The standard American diet, the SAD diet's out.
Yeah. Okay, we'll be right back, folks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
And welcome back. I wanted to go to this Ice Age era cave system that was found under a major city, which was Montreal. It's the Pi 12 Park, lies in the heart of Montreal, surrounded by busy streets. But what lies beneath the streets are really making a buzz because they found these caves.
Yeah, so it's a new network of caves that they say date back to the Earth's early ice ages. And, you know, we talked to you guys about that. Make sure to tune into David Dubine's video, Adapt 2030, and learn more about what we mean when we're talking about the coming ice age, because these extend nearly 700 feet and were discovered in October by 2 speleologists, cave experts, and the find was only recently announced after the site was secured. Yeah. Can you guys see that picture up there? Pretty cool. Look at that.
So they're going through these caves. A large network that is first discovered in 1812, but now they've really looked at it. They've dug sewers, they made basements, and no one has ever seen them. They look through this. There's large rooms in there, big drops, tall, narrow hallways. The walls are perfectly smooth and the ceiling is perfectly horizontal. They estimate the ceiling to be nearly 20 feet high. In addition to the smooth limestone walls lining the cave, stagnites and stalactites, or whatever they're called, are found throughout the passage. So this has been around for a long time. And what they think is that people used these when things got bad, which was the ice age.
Yes, so during the last ice age, which ended about 10,000 years ago, ice would have covered much of North America. In the tens of thousands of years that ice was retreating, took some time, guys. There's your little Fibonacci retracement, you stuck people.
Yeah,
it was rapidly receding glaciers created fissures in the terrain.
So this map goes back about 4,000 years. It's a retracement. And what you're looking at here is present day, the warming trend that we had for the past 20 years. We're in solar cycle 24 right now.
Where are you? Let's see your cursor. So, yeah, move it around a little bit. Okay,
yeah. So right there. You can see that during the medieval warming period, we were, and these were taken from ice core samples in Greenland. Okay, so that's why these these are centigrade things.
So, folks, yes, when we talk about...
So it's definitely warmer here in the medieval period. And Roman period, way warmer, and then we have that Minoan warm period. So definitely much, much warmer during those times, but we've had some ice ages, and this is where the major ice age was right here about 10,000 years ago. We're just ending solar cycle 24. I think 2008 it started, so
the global
18
warming
or 19.
People can say, yes, we were in a modern warm period.
Yep.
What we're trying to be is ahead of the curve, right, guys? We want to be ahead of the plunge. We want to be able to realize what's going on, and what we're heading to is a next mini ice age.
Yeah,
Some people say it may not be mini.
Yeah, that's true too. But we're on that 2 to 400 year cycle, and about every 400 years, if we go back to the Dark Ages, we were down into the dumps for sure.
So look down here. Go down to that lowest part.
The modern minimum?
Yeah, but it says right before that, at the beginning, it says the Great Famine and the Black Plague. So see, guys, get an idea of what was going on. Glaciers grow and destroy villages.
Also, this says witch hunts reach the maximum in the 1600s. Where
50,000 witches were burned at the stake. How about that, guys? Yeah. That was a really dark period.
In many ways.
Yeah, Dark Ages. Yeah. So, guys...
So, what I was saying is cycle 24 is ending probably this year, maybe next year, and then we're going to go into what we call the minimum, and we think this is going to be the grand minimum. So the grand minimum every 2 to 400 years goes into these little drops.
So pay attention. You guys are looking at charts all day. This is a chart you want to pay attention to. David Dubine, in a conversation I had with him the other night on the phone, he explained the economics are changing. Cryptocurrency, you guys are posting a lot about it, and the mania phase and so forth, but cryptos may be a real big player in how we transport food in these coming short periods. They said the economy is changing, but the weather is going to change even faster.
Yep.
It's going to make your head spin. Hey, guys.
Thanks for sticking around, folks. We'll see you on the next show.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman wave sequence. Using the Chapman wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.